Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the duplicate 3D node. So we're going to jump into Fusion, and we've got a little 3D setup. Got a camera, a couple lights, our merge, our render, and we've got a shape. And we've got a little top post to maybe a fence or something. And we need to make our little fence post going down. So a good node to do that instead of having to create every single shape independently is a duplicate node. So let's go ahead and copy this shape. And let's jump into our little 3D here. We're going to transform this after we input it so we can see what we're doing. Let's go ahead and change our height. Let's look at our little node here. We're going to transform it down. And we'll bring it over so we can make a bunch of duplicates. So we're going to import the duplicate 3D node. And we're going to put that after our shape. Now, the easy form of this duplicate node is just to create copies. Up top, we can put how many copies we want, but we need to offset it. So we need to tell our copies what they're doing. So let's go ahead and offset our copies. So they cover our fence. So now we got a little fence built. So that's the basic of this node, but it does more than that. So up top, we have the amount of copies we have. So our first being 0. If we don't want to see our main first copy, we can just start at 1. So we no longer see that original. I know a lot of people were asking about our original duplicate node for 2D, how to hide that. But in this node, it makes it easier. You just back up that first copy. We can put it back. You have the probability of it copying, just kind of like our particle nodes do, the probability of that happening. Or time offset, what this will do is it'll offset any original animation. So if we go to our original shape, and let's go to frame 1, and let's offset our our Z rotation. So let's make a keyframe. We'll go to the end. We're going to offset that a little bit. And if we go back to our duplicate node, we can use this time offset to offset that original animation. So if I knock it all the way down to say 5, now you can see it just offset those animations. Instead of it being at 0, then I'm all going at the same time. So that's what your time offset node does. And you can increase it so they go faster. And when we get into the jitter side, the time offset on this works exactly the same way. So let's go ahead and clear out our animation. And under our transform method, we have two options. We have accumulated and linear. Under accumulated, it'll just accumulate any transforms we have on our shape. If we switch it to linear, it'll just transform that exact number for each one of them. It's not going to multiply it and accumulate it. Because basically what's happening with our duplicates is if we have one copy, this is a copy of this. If we have 2 copies, this copy is a copy of this, not a copy of the original. So when we accumulate it, we're multiplying that. So as we change this, it's multiplying that rotation. If we have it on linear, it's just adding that rotation to each one of them. And our transform order, we have how we want to order our transforms. So the SRT means size, rotation, and transformation, which is the default setting, but we can change how we want that to be read. And our translation or rotation do exactly that. They translate or rotate. And our pivot will just simply translate the pivot of our duplicate node, where that origin is. Our scale, we can change our scale. We can unlock our X, Y, and Z scale, so we can make it larger or smaller, just in the X, the Y, and the Z. And duplicate path is a little confusing and a little useless at the same time. So basically, if we say duplicate path, we don't have an option to actually create a path. And if you look down here, it says use spline panel to create path. And that's talking about our actual spline panel. So if you see right here, we have path X, Y, and Z. So if I want to duplicate along a path of X, Y, and Z, or let's just say X to make this easily visible, we can create a keyframe. And let's create another keyframe and another keyframe. And if I play it along, you can see that like switching, like it switches, but it's not very effective. But it's there. If you need to duplicate along a path, you can do that. But that's how you would do it. So let's go ahead and uncheck that because I don't use it and I never have used it. Under our jitter control, we can change the jitter amount, just kind of like we did with the particles. So if we change our random seed, well, first we have to add a jitter translation or rotation. So if we want to jitter along the X, we can jitter along the X. We can change that random seed. We can change the probability of it happening. We can also offset that time like we did under the controls. We can change our pivot jitter, and we can change the scale of that jitter. So let's go ahead and reset this. Under region, this is the region that this duplicate is taking place. And by default, it's ignoring, which means it's just going to happen across your entire 3D scene. But we can select when it's inside the region. And right now it's all, so it's happening everywhere. But if we switch it to, say, cube, now we're going to have a cube in our merge, and that's the only place that's going to take place. But this also is a little confusing, because if you look at our cube, let's change our cube width, our height. This is our cube down here, and you notice it's actually not in our effects, or in our shapes. So it's a little confusing as to exactly what's going on. So if we like change our translation, you can see we're changing what's visible. And you would think maybe it's what's in the camera view, but it's not. If we change that, you can see that's changing. So it's a little odd, but this just basically allows you to change what's happening within this little region here. Now we also have mesh. And what mesh does is it allows you to input a mesh, let's say a shape, which is this little green input here. Let's change our shape to a cube, and the same thing is happening. but we do get extra settings for our duplicate node. But we just lost our ability to change the size. So our size is dependent on our cube. So if we change the size of our cube, you can see more stuff is coming in or out. Now within our duplicate node, we have winding rules. And what winding rule does is it determines how the mesh of the polygons is determined as an area of volume within it. I know that's confusing, but basically our shapes within our mesh, how it's going to determine what is visible and how it's visible. And if you're having issues seeing these in here, and if you input, say, a mesh to mesh around it, if we change our winding rules, it'll change how some things are viewed. So if you're not seeing, say, like here, we're not seeing it, your mesh inside may be being read in a different way. And it's got to do with your normals and your vectors and all that stuff. And that's why this is kind of confusing, because it's trying to ray trace inside a mesh. So just select a winding rule that allows you to see what you want to see. And then within that rule, you have winding ray directions. So this will change the ray tracing directions of the shapes within that mesh. So if we change it, you can see we're losing or seeing some stuff. So if you are not seeing what you need to see, change your winding ray directions. Just play with these to try to get your mesh to be seen correctly if you're using the mesh as your region. And additionally, you can limit by object ID. So if we go to our shape, we can see our object ID is 5. So if we go here, we limit it and we type in 5. Only that shape is going to interact with our region. Now we also have a rectangle, and here we can see our little rectangle. If I change our width and our height, you can see our little rectangle. And again, this you have to kind of play with to make visible what you want visible. And then we have sphere. If we look at our sphere, we can change our size of our sphere. And again, you need to kind of play with it to make visible what you want visible. So as I said, the most common is just using your region as ignore region and all. That way you can duplicate whatever you need to duplicate. So that is the duplicate 3D node. I will see you in the next node breakdown.